Nnamdi Kalu. I think Amnesty should also take a major position.
My brother, Sowore don't finish work. He finish work, I tell you truth. I want make you get patient. Watch this video to the end. Sowore talk say if we are talking about violation of human rights, he say number one na police, number two na federal government. He said so many things about police, but now let me go into federal government issue. He said, do you know that Deborah that was stoned to death in the north, that those people who killed Deborah, they were walking freely. But presently now, the woman who had the videotape of it and posted it is now in detention or in prison. Now, we are talking about violation of human rights. He said, what about Nnamdi Kalu that was, adopted in Kenya and took him down to Nigeria until presently, and nobody's talking about it. He said, most of us are busy talking about Gaza-Israel war, campaigning for them, fighting for them. But the things that are happening in our own country that are worse more than what is happening in Israel and Gaza today, no one is talking about it. He said, why would we not fight for Nnamdi Kalu, for him to be free? But we forgot that charity begins at home. That if we want to talk about the human right, we should focus on the police and the federal government. I don't want to say it by myself. It looks as if I'm the one making up the stories. Please, touch the like button. Subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to share this message. Share it so that the authorities, the power that be, will be able to see this video. Now, let's go there.
What they do, but with the complete existence, integrity, and dignity of the human person in Nigeria. And I'm glad that Amnesty International is setting an agenda for human rights. I think this should have happened on May 29th, actually. And we should have done maybe a posthumous review of the Buhari regime, so that we will say to ourselves that we will never repeat this again. That was one of the worst human rights violation period in recent history of Nigeria, which led to the deaths of thousands and thousands of people in the hands of security agencies, torture, inhuman and degrading treatment, and the rise of non-state actors in the violation of human rights, of which even Amnesty International was a victim, where people were assembled in front of their office and threatened to burn down Amnesty International office. That particular era was promoted by the government. I can tell you that categorically. Not even in Palestine today do you see an attack on Amnesty International office, even though they might have things to say against Israel. But I want to also use this opportunity to focus on something very controversial, because especially within Nigeria, is the rise of persecution on the basis of religion in Nigeria, which is now very common across Nigeria. I don't want to say northern Nigeria, because recently there was a fellow who was arrested in Ibadan and taken to Kwara State. His name is Tani Olong, because he expressed opinions that were not popular with the religious chieftains there. And he spent over 180 days in detention. He was just recently released. They were filing one case or the other against him, using kangaroo courts, what they call upper area courts, to prosecute federal crimes. And this, they call this cyber bullying. Some of them said it's defamation, cyber crime, all kinds of things. Today, one of the trending issues is a woman known as Rhoda Jato, who also in Bauchi prison, being prosecuted, I would say persecuted, for sharing a video condemning the killing of Deborah Samba. It is unconscionable that the people who murdered Deborah are looking free, and a woman who merely shared a video of people condemning her unjust murder is in prison, a murder. This is very important because I'm saying that, and I want to say it, that is not a religious matter. I am not a religious person. I'm a non-religious man of God. I have no religion. Yes, but I do what is right by my conscience, and I think that is godly. But you see, there's a whole lot of political agenda also behind religion to persecute people. Because I don't think God is so weak that you need to fight for God in Nigeria. God can fight his own battles. He's been around fighting all the battles since he created man, and I'm sure he can do it. But it is a human rights issue that must not be ignored, and Amnesty must also take a position on this. The last one is the continued detention of Nnamdi Kalu. I think Amnesty should also take a major position on it because there is a particular international criminality involved, which is extraordinary rendition of person. He was abducted in Kenya, put on a plane to be in Nigeria without legal representation, and this is unacceptable. And I say this because we are here fighting for Palestinians. There are some of us that are still fighting for Öcalan in Turkey. It's also a self-determination person. Why can't we be very clear about the injustice done to Nnamdi Kalu? Is it because his touch are uncomfortable with it, which is the unity of Nigeria? But I think when it comes to amnesty, there should not be boundaries over fundamental